your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee break with me.
Welcome back to Coffee Break with Candace. We're so glad you're here this week. I have another amazing guest, and in fact, she's been here before. And so she's here with a new book and more inspiration for us all. And I'll have her introduce herself and tell us more.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Candace, for this opportunity. My name is Esther. I have been on for early in January this year to talk about my fourth book, The Power of a Forward-Thinking Mindset. But today I'm here to talk about my latest book called Confident Face, Embracing Your Authentic Beauty. And it's an honor to be here once again. So thank you very much, Candace.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And you've written several books. This is your fifth book, correct?
It is indeed.
Okay, so tell us your inspiration behind this book, Confident Face.
Yes. What a good question. A lot of people actually want to know why I wrote Confident Face. So my inspiration for Confident Face started with my journey of dealing with my skincare issues in 2016. So around summertime, I decided to visit my local GP to find out what I could do to deal with my spots, because I literally didn't understand why they were coming one spot after another. So I decided to take my time to do my research to find out what products suited my skin at the time. So a few years later down the line, I realized that my skin started to become much better because I took the appropriate action to look after my skin. Following forwards now in 2019, I actually broke out so much during the summer period. And that was the time I was doing my late sister's book launch as well. So because of the inconsistent products that I was using at the time, it caused my skin to become really sensitive and very vulnerable. So I decided to say, enough is enough. I need to find a permanent remedy to get rid of these spots. Now, as women in particular, I know how it is to have really inconsistent spots and blackheads or even hyperpigmentation. It can have an effect on you as a woman. I know how it is personally, speaking from my own personal experience. I knew that I had to do much more than just changing products. I needed to change my heart. I needed to change my mindset. And I always say this, that your mindset produces so many positive or negative results. You either have to feed one and starve the other. So I decided to feed my mind with positive thoughts to help my skin become much better, to sleep on time, to be more positive, to be more thankful. I've noticed that even at times, it's easy for me to focus on the flaws and the insecurities that spots bring to a woman's face. But I realized that if I don't own my flaws, I can't be my own confident face. So I'm going to bring the book a bit closer. And as you can see on this side, you can see that my skin was really flawless. Although I had makeup on, I really was clear around that time. Whereas on this side, you can see that I've got quite a few blackheads and a few spots, which shows my real skin. And this is me showing you my confident face. I'm showing you the clear side, and I'm also showing you the insecure side. And I want everyone to know that you are beautiful regardless of whether you have clear skin or spotty skin. Someone that has clear skin isn't better than someone that has spotty skin. It could be that they're more disciplined, but it doesn't mean that they don't have good skin. It will take time for you to get clear skin, but what ultimately matters is how you are renewing your mind. One of my favorite chapters in the book is Look Within in chapter 7. Mm-hmm. And I spoke about learning how to look at your heart, to really analyze why you are thinking the way you're thinking, but at the same time, why you are, how can I say this? Looking within causes you to identify your insecurities. It's hard to look at yourself. It's difficult to say, oh, wow, this is me. This is my life. I actually cannot believe I'm going through this. And it's very easy to overcome that, but it takes practice. Looking within is not comfortable, and it's not going to be cheap at all. It takes time to look within. It takes time to understand who you are, and it takes time to really own those flaws. So I hope that helps.
Oh, no, I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I feel like, that is a theme with you, is that, we're doing these external things, which are great, but it's really important to look internally.
Definitely.
And to find, as you mentioned, to find the confidence to be authentic. Like, there's such an amazing, as I think about this with your company name, Authentic Worth, like there's such a theme around those things, authenticity and confidence. And so I would ask, what the book sounds amazing, is what, with this particular one, were there specific things that inspired you to write it? Were there circumstances or situations that had occurred that made you say, it's time and I really need to write this book?
Yes, I actually did. So thankfully, I realized that what I wanted to do was to create more further awareness to help women in particular to embrace their insecurities and their flaws. And I decided to invite two young ladies to talk about their skincare journeys and their experiences in the book. So they've been kind enough to also contribute to the writing of this book. And they also spoke about their skincare journeys and how they've had spots and acne, and how also they've overcome it. So with one lady in particular, we met together in 2019, and we both noticed that we were going through the same thing, if not similar. And we knew that the only thing we could do to overcome the way we felt was to speak about it. Now, I'm a strong advocate in speaking. And as you rightfully said, the company name is Authentic Worth. So it's all about being authentic, being honest, and being real. And we knew that the only way we could overcome our skincare flaws was to open up about it. It's not easy and it's not comfortable, but the only way that we were able to overcome our skincare flaws is to talk about it. So that really helped. Another thing that also really helped was also being mindful of how my mind operates. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but your mind is very important. What I consumed at the time could either aggravate my skin or cause it to become better. So I had to be disciplined enough to admit that, yes, this is my skin, whether that means I need to take time off social media to relax, if that means I need to take some time off to, cut down on the unhealthy foods, take my mind away from people who aren't adding value into my life as well. Those are the things that I had to do on a regular basis to make sure that my mindset and my skin was flourishing. And I do always want to give encouragement to people right now, even at this time, because we're in a pandemic. It's very easy to become overwhelmed at home, particularly those who are struggling to either work from home or even find a job. I know it's really difficult out there, but I do strongly believe that it's your mind that can change your life for the better. And if you don't know how to change your mind for the better, you need to learn how to speak out, whether it be to a trusted family member or friend. Now, for me, I really love praying, and that has been one of my strong backbones into achieving really good skin. From time to time, it may come back again with the spots, but I do declare that, look, spot, you're going to go. You're not going to stay on my face forever. It's just a season, it will pass. And I always have to tell people that, look, if you don't speak life into yourself, no one else is going to speak life into you. You don't have time to wait for anybody to tell you who you are. You must be your own confident face. You must learn how to embrace your own authentic beauty. A lot of women are covering up so much, and this is the reason why they're not being set free. It's easy to buy a very high-class foundation out there, but investing in a book that can actually teach you on how to invest in your internal being, your personality, your character, self-discipline, patience, it's all included in this book. It's not just about using this product that will help your skin disappear in a week. I spoke about one product that I saw that was advertised heavily on Instagram, a really shimmery gold mask. And I said to myself, Esther, if you get this mask, are you sure that it's going to work? Because sometimes with social media and promotions, they just want you to focus on the promotion so much to an extent where they convince you to buy it. But you need to ask yourself, before I get this product, do I know what is involved in the ingredients? Is it good for me? Have I seen the reviews? It's very easy to be accustomed to what we see out there. But remember that you don't need to be defined by society's standards of beauty. You can see someone using ABC products, and if you get them and they don't work, you're not going to be happy. But before you got those products, did you pray? Before you got those products, did you do your research? Before you got those products, did you actually take the time to understand what your skin is like? Did you learn how to speak life into yourself first? Did you have the time to actually speak to someone about how you feel? Did you get someone to stand in agreement with you when times were difficult? And those are the things that we must really learn how to do as we get better with our skin, and not just externally, but also internally. Your beauty is both internal and external, but before people can see the beauty outwardly, they need to see the beauty internally. And that's how you carry yourself. Are you an encourager? Are you pouring back into people's lives? Are you adding value into people's lives? We need to learn how to make an impact with the gifts that we have. Whenever we are going through our insecurities and our flaws, it's not for us to hide them, but it's actually for us to share with other people who are going to go through what we have gone through. And it's okay to be honest about your journey with your skin. I've seen a lot of women talking about their skin lately. And it's so encouraging and it's so uplifting to see that they are owning their flaws. They're not allowing themselves to be defined by a spot or a blackhead or a scar or a burn. They're actually saying, you know what? I love the way I am. And I know at some point in this season, it's going to pass me by. So, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Again, I would say that, having spoken to you previously, that even when you're talking about external, you're unpacking internal and talking about some of those important aspects of who we are, as much as what we appear to be on the outside. So that's just it's very fascinating to write a book from that perspective. And was it hard for you from a vulnerability perspective to put a flawed, or what culturally and from a societal standpoint would be viewed as a flawed picture on your cover, or at least a partially flawed, one half is flawless, one half you see obvious flaws? Was that uncomfortable for you?
To be honest, it was. So when the book cover designer sent me the first draft of my book cover, I saw it and I was like, whoa, because initially the cover was actually pink and blue. So on the pink side, it was the clear side. On the blue side, it was the insecure side. And I was blown away. I said, I don't think I'm ready to put this out there. But I said, Esther, no, you have to put this out there because you need people to know that your honesty is going to set so many women free. So I said, you know what? Just change the background to white instead. Let it be even more visible. Let it be more bold. Because if the title is Confident Face, then I do need to make sure I match up to that. And this is a book that, as I saw the cover, I said, Esther, just do it. Just serve your community, do your part, and let them be inspired. Whether people like it or not, remember your book is for those who need it. I'm not catering to everybody. Those who know themselves and they know their flaws will get this book. I'm not perfect, but I know that those who are going to read this book will realize that. And they know they're not perfect too. Why? Because we're living in an imperfect world.
True.
And I want to show my imperfections. Yes, I want to show my imperfections to let people know that it's okay to not be perfect. And you can own those imperfections and make them work for you rather than it being against you.
So how do you find the confidence to write a book like this in a world where we are constantly being bombarded with images of perfection, with, our social media, perfect lives, which we know there's no such thing, but we have all of these, images and, things that come at us that, are all about being perfect. And yet you dig down deep and become very vulnerable in a book like this, and then create a cover like this. Like, I just, how are you able to do that? That's just amazing to me.
It's actually a really good question. So as we both know, we know that social media isn't always what it seems. And there's a saying that goes that people only post what they want you to see, which I fully agree. It takes a confident person who knows their insecurities and their flaws and who knows they are not perfect to show you the realness of who they are. But unfortunately, we are living in an instant gratified world where all people want to see is the perfect side. I've made 6 figures in a day. I'm traveling abroad to speak. I've got my car in less than a week. And these things are not wrong, but the pressure to put it on at such a very tender time in the season that we're in now can trigger a lot of people. And that includes even looking at yourself within and asking, if I'm putting this up there, if I'm putting out my insecurities, or if I'm putting out my successes, is it actually to encourage people or is it to show off? Society always wants you to see them as the best. Look at me. I'm having a good life. I'm living the high life. What are you doing? How's your day going? Oh, I'm going here. I'm traveling here next weekend. What are you doing? And sometimes it can be very contradicting and very manipulative. And particularly for those who are quite vulnerable and don't have that confidence to actually come out. But my book is always about being honest and real. Because if we don't have people in the generation right now who can be real about how they feel, it's going to affect the upcoming generation. So as I write books, I always think about those who are coming behind me, because I know at some point I'm going to have to give the mantle to them. And if I don't have that face to say, look, friend, this is me. I had acne before. I had spots before. I had blackheads before, but I owned them. I didn't allow society to tell me who I was. And I will not allow society to tell me who I am, because I know who my identity is in. So when you know who you are, it's like society will always throw itself at you with so many pictures and images and videos and flawed perceptions of beauty. And I spoke about it even in the book, that we are living in a generation where it's flawed. We want people to just see the good things, but not the bad things. And life isn't always going to be good all the time. This is not even to sound negative, Candace, but life is serious. We will have challenging times ahead. But it's those challenging times that make us who we are, and to own it rather than hiding ourselves and feeling the pressure to come on social media to be perfect. I really honor people who are honest on social media. It takes strength to be honest. It takes strength to say, I am struggling. But we need to hear this more often. It's not every day. I was speaking to someone recently about why social media can become quite toxic, because we're not looking at the inner work. We're not looking at the flawed perceptions of people. We're only focusing on their highlights. If someone buys a car or if someone gets married, we hail them more than someone who's just started a business or someone who's helping the homeless. But that shouldn't be the case. Helping the homeless and, doing something that is great for the community should also be acknowledged. But we're only acknowledging the glamorous life. But when you're struggling, no one wants to know you. But the minute you're up there, everybody wants to be your friend. But that's not how life should be. Life should be honest. Life should be real. Life should be open-minded. We are a community. Whether you are local or global, we are still a community. And it takes time for us to realize this. We don't want to wait until something happens before you realize that, wow, what have I done with my life? Have I actually been honest? Have I actually been authentic with my audience? Have I been real with my audience? Because people really want to know, what is it that I can do to get better? How can I add value? I always speak about value. I'm sure in my recent video that we had in January, I really emphasize on the word value. Value is so important. Value added friends, value added environments. Don't allow social media to change you, because it's just a platform. It's not, how can I say this? Social media is you and I. We are only using the platforms as opportunities to share our stories. Some good, some bad. But ultimately, they must make us realize that it should never give us any insecurity to make us feel smaller than we are. However, we should be the ones to overcome the social media standards that they portray out there and make us realize that we are more than society's standards of beauty.
That's so good. That is really, really great. Wow. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Wow. Oof. Mm. I would just say learn how to love you. I mean, deeply love you and be patient with the process. I always say this, that instant gratification is a mental killer. There are so many people right now who are mentally comparing themselves for no reason because they're not feeling good enough. They haven't had the time to sit down by themselves and say, you know what, Esther, have you worked on yourself yet? Have you actually taken the time to realize how precious you are? Do you know you are valuable in this world? That's why you've been created for a purpose. So it's really about owning who you are, loving who you are, but ultimately being patient with the process. I really can't emphasize enough on what it is to be patient.
Mm.
These two ladies that selflessly spoke about their journeys in this book really inspired me. And I said, do you know what? I'm going to do exactly the same. It took me so much time to talk about my journey, and it just doesn't speak about what I went through, but it's giving practical advice and encouragement on how to overcome those thoughts when they come. Because Candace, honestly, the thoughts will come: doubt, insecurity, lack of self-belief, so many thoughts that will come that will trigger you and say, am I really worth it? Are these spots going to go away? I even did a recent video on my YouTube channel about my skincare journey and about this book. So I tell you, it will go away, but you need to be patient and ultimately learn how to work on your heart, work on your character. Don't take yourself so seriously. Breathe, take naps, take walks, be happy with yourself. Laugh at yourself at times as well. It's okay to laugh. It's
So
okay to,
true.
don't take life too seriously. Life is precious. If this pandemic has taught me anything, it's taught me to take life easy and to be confident in my own skin, to be confident as a woman, to be confident as an individual, and to really bring back that confidence into people. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time and for being on another episode of Coffee Break with Candace. And how do we find your book?
Yes. So you can find my book on Amazon, on all Amazon platforms. And you can also find them in all bookstores as well as the website on authenticworth.com/books.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Esther, for coming back to Coffee Break with Candace and spending time with us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.